We are continuing with our theme of hope as we welcome Mary and Jason to talk about the upcoming Hope Conference. Guys, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Now, Mary, we're going to start with the easy questions, and then it gets much harder.
Perfect.
It's
then
not
you can talk. That's it.
Tell us about the Hope Conferences.
We were a small group of Catholic men and women who, a good 20 years ago, started having small retreats and conferences in the northern Massachusetts area, using the grounds of the Oblates on Andover Street and going up to the Benedictine Monastery out in Still River. And we just found as the years went by, more and more people were really looking forward to these retreats and really coming to refuel. And last year, the Lord just kind of put it on our hearts to open wide the doors and do something so much bigger. And we just kept hearing in our hearts that there was so much more that our Holy Fathers have been asking us to do: evangelize, evangelize, evangelize. So we started looking beyond our comfort zone and saying, all right, what can we do that's just going to really open wide those doors to bring people in? And one of the scripture passages that just kept coming back to me was that beautiful scripture in 1 Peter, always be ready to give a reason for your hope. So that just immediately became the theme of what I felt God was calling us to do. We started looking it up, and everybody, every time they looked for the reason for our hope, kept coming back to Father Larry Richards' site. And I said, you know what? That's okay, because if Father Larry Richards calls us, he can come too. So we started building, people just started coming out of the woodwork in this beautiful outpouring of support, and all of the people who were organizing the Boston men's and women's conferences were reaching out to us, saying, what can we do to help you? What kind of support can we give you? Let's tell you some of the things we did that failed and some that worked great. Angelo from the men's conferences out in Worcester.
Sure, yeah, we've had Angelo on.
I sent a quick email to him and said, you know, what advice can you give us? And I got a phone call within a half an hour. I mean, everybody's just been so gracious and very, very supportive, saying, you know what, we need this. Let's do it. Let's do what we can to help you. So it's been wonderful.
Jason, you know, I don't know personally, but I know from speaking to people who have been involved in events like this, a conference such as this takes a lot of work. You know, what motivated you to give of yourself to such a huge effort?
Personally, I'm motivated from being to different conferences myself and different retreats and seeing the joy that comes out of it. And we're in a time in our lives where so many people need hope. And it really struck me that I know how happy I am and how peaceful I am after going to a place like this. So when Mary had asked me, I was all over it to be a part of it, and it just keeps going from there. So we have a great support team, and we're all on the same feeling where we want to bring the hope and the happiness and the joy and to everybody that needs it.
Yeah. I love the shirt too, by the way.
Thank you.
Very nice. So, Mary, there's a lot of planning that goes in here, and there's a lot of things that happen. What can the attendees expect? Now, it's September 30th, so we got a lot of time.
Yes, not a lot,
not a lot, but for people to sign up, they have time to sign up. What can people expect when they go?
We have 5 amazing speakers, and again, there's a story behind how each one of these speakers became part of the involvement and planning of the conference. But Jim Wahlberg is going to bring just so much to the conference about his mission with the Ministry of Addiction and how the Lord has really done so much in his life. We have Sonia Corbett, who I'm very excited to have. She is from Nashville, from the Tennessee area. And she just has been such a dynamic person to work with. So she's coming to speak a lot about her ministry. We have Andy LaValle, who, again, there's a story behind how he came on board. And then 2 very dear friends who have actually come to this region before to do conferences for us. Father Mark Nolte and Father Francis Valerio. They are both from the Nebraska area. They were very excited to find out what we were doing. They've been involved in large conferences out in Omaha before, so they're coming to add that beautiful priestly dimension of what God is bringing to his people in the very, very depths of his heart and where that hope needs to be driven from. So there's a lot going on. We have Mass, adoration, confessions, Yeah.
Conversation.
And
meeting
lots
friends.
of fellowship, lots of fellowship. It's beautiful.
I
yeah.
got to tell you, I love the theme of the conference because my Episcopal motto that I chose is Jesus sola nobis spes. Jesus is our only hope. And so I'm thrilled to hear that you're doing this. What are some of the details? We know it's September 30th, but where, when, how can people get tickets? How can they get involved?
Lowell Memorial Auditorium. You can reach us at hopeconferences.com, www.hopeconferences.com, or email us at info@hopeconferences.com.
I got to tell you this. I love to say this. When you said hopeconferences.com, it popped up on the screen.
Well, that's, we plan some of these things once in a while. What's your great hope for this when people leave, Mary? What's your hope?
I really believe this is a phenomenal oasis. I just absolutely believe in the depths of my heart that God is just really calling. Come, taste and see the goodness of the Lord. Yes, we know there's just so much going out there in the way of trials and tribulations from your personal family to the other side of the world. But I want you to stop focusing on that for just today and come drink deeply so that when you go back out, you bring my hope, my joy, my glory to everybody that you associate with, and that's what they're hearing and seeing.
We can all give one day to God.
Yes.
Hopeconferences.com.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I told you this would go by quick. Doesn't it go by quick?
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be back with more of This Is the Day right after this. We've got to get Kevin. He's got to make his way over here. And Mary and Jason will tell you it's not that far, but it takes him a little while. So stay with us. We'll be right back.